Okay. Hide. Yeah. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My dear friends and colleagues.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining once again. These are sessions scheduled by our company primarily to bring us all up, in skills, not only technical skills but interpersonal skills, communication skills, corporate skills, right? Being smart at work, and also emotional skills. Not, I would say, not more than emotional skills, emotional balancing and spiritual foundation as well, right? So these courses are actually meant to help you all in your day-to-day affairs to become more efficient at work, right? So it's not about just the technical skills. There is a lot to do with the packaging that comes along with the technical skills, right? So I would like to do today's session, which is assigned as power of oral communication. Now, communication is a vast topic, right? We're going to cover only some part of it. The goal is I want to give you an idea in what all ways people look at you when you communicate, right? So that's the goal. So we think that we are communicating, everything is going there, right? We think that communication has happened, but there are so many things around it which you should be conscious so that it's a good communication that's happening, right? So I always read this main, theme. What we're going to cover: the most powerful weapon which can bring the most significant change is the tongue, right? Is the tongue. Tongue is the most powerful, I'll say, muscle in the whole body, and also the most powerful weapon of this body, which you can bring a big change, right? So the most powerful weapon which can bring the most significant change is the tongue. Greatest of the leaders have brought revolutions just with the power of oral communication. The seminars aims to present different branches of communication and how important it is to communicate orally, right? And the seminar also provides tools and techniques on how to exhibit the best oral communication skills in all circumstances, right? So we are going to focus specifically on oral communication, and let's start with a quote, right? If we were supposed to talk more than listen, we would have been given two mouths and one ear. Mark Twain, right? So very simple. Communication is more about listening than speaking. A lot of people think that in order to communicate, I should go and learn good English, good vocabulary, good this, good that. No, you just have to open your both ears, right? Like in this session right now, I want all of you to open your ears and hear it focusly, and then articulate what you understood and where all you need help. Right? We all need help. I'm not a perfect communicator either. We all improve phase in phase, right? In our life, phase by phase we keep improving. We keep seeing it better people in front of us, and we try to copy those values and those skills from them, right? So I want to set an expectation. So we are going to discuss about the tree of communication in terms of where this seminar falls. So communication is a big tree. If I say, in that, where is this topic falling? Oral communication, right? We're going to speak about that. We'll discuss what is communication, process of communication, types of communication, effective communication skills, and communication barriers. What are the things which are not allowing you to communicate? Sometimes it's difficult for us to discover them. So we'll discuss today what are the things that are really barriers for us to communicate. Then some tools and techniques to overcome those barriers. How do you overcome those barriers? So we will discover challenges, and then after that we'll try to see how can we conquer those challenges, right? In summary and conclusion, okay? So do I have communication skills? Let's find out. You have to do your self assessment in this session. Now, always it's very important to have a requirement and objective of why we are doing this, right? Before you start any presentation, this is something that you all can learn, is write down your requirement and write down your objective of why you are doing it. What is the difference between requirement and objective? Requirement means what has brought the need for this. Objective means how you are presenting it, right? How you are, what all you are addressing in that, right? So requirement can be big. Your objective can be a minor out of that, what you're addressing in this seminar. So basically, requirement is, the whole economy has gone global. Contracts are getting signed, different, things. We are dealing with all multinational customers, right? And there is a very important need for the ability to communicate orally, right? So that there is clarity in the message that we speak. And communication is no more an optional skill, right? You can't tell that I am bad at communication skills. I think I'll remain like that. No, you can't remain like that. You have to You have to find means and ways to improve your communication, right? It's not a choice, right? Objective of the seminar, what we want to do today, is to present different branches of communication and how important it is to communicate orally. You all should know how important it is to communicate orally, right? That's the objective. Second is to provide tools and techniques and how to exhibit the best oral communication skills in all circumstances, right? So again, as I said, communication is a vast topic. Like I said, let's see the tree of communication. So I think I've shown this slide prior also, but I'm just going to show, right? So most important thing when you are going to communicate is you should have passion for the subject. When you don't have passion for the subject, you can't communicate properly, right? You should believe in what you're speaking. Then you can speak nicely. And when you have passion for the subject, along with it automatically comes clarity, consideration, completeness, consciousness, correctness, and courtesy. All these things come along with it. First important thing is you should have passion for the subject. For example, I'm going to speak this seminar. I'm really passionate about it, right? I want to tell people that start communicating properly. Otherwise, it's going to cause so many problems at your workplace, personal life, everywhere, right? So I believe in the need. So naturally, I'm passionate about it. In the same way, when you speak, there has to be passion for the subject. That's the most important thing, right? Then automatically, when you have passion for it, faith and trust in self automatically stands on that, right? Automatically, people will feel the impact when somebody is speaking. So 7 seminars and workshops are there as part of effective communication skills, right? So as part of effective communication skills, I would put them in 2 categories. One is for success in projects, another is for good relationships. So oral communication skills, which we are covering today, is sitting here in terms of successful projects. We have done one more so far. Meeting etiquettes also we have done. The recording is already sent by the HR in your email IDs. So I would request, if you have not attended it, please attend it. You're not going to lose anything. As long as you have a attitude to learn, there is always something to learn, right? Today, for example, I'm giving this seminar, doesn't mean I'm only going to teach. I'm actually eager to learn from all of you also. So when you tell some questions, ask some questions, or tell some facts, that's going to be a learning. So we should always have that attitude to learn. The greatest of the leaders always carry the attitude to learn. So please carry that, and please also go and hear the seminars if you have not heard them. So in this whole tree of communication, we are going to do all of them. Eventually, all of them you will do. But so far, we have finished meeting etiquettes, and now we are going to do oral communication. Right? We are going to focus on oral communication today. Yeah. So what is communication? I would like to ask all of you to please speak out, because at least today's communication skills workshop. So I want you to please speak out, right? And if possible, please on your videos so that we can communicate properly. I have blurred my background. Can you see that in Zoom? There is an option called blur, right? So you can blur your background. I don't, nobody really wants to see your background, whatever it is, good or bad.
I have beautiful background of office, so I would like to
you have veneer wood background. I was planning to come to office as well, but I have some back pain today, so I'm just working out of home. Yeah. So Shiva has some rose flowers background behind him. That's fine. Okay. So my dear friends, please on your videos, it's okay. We have employed you. We have your profiles, appointment letters. We have your records. We already know how you look like. You can please open your screens and communicate properly. Don't hesitate to open your screens, right? Yeah. So I can see. Yeah. So what do you mean to communicate? What comes to your mind when you say communicate? Let's make it simple words. What does it mean to communicate?
So, clearly giving some information to others.
Correct. Clearly giving some information to others. Very nice.
Really explaining your feelings and emotions and also information to the other party, verbally or non-verbally.
That's very good point. Not only information, it's also about expressing our feelings and emotions.
Verbally or non-verbally.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. What else comes to your mind when let's go to basics. You all communicate already. You are great communicators, but we're just trying to understand.
Communication means it is a way of expression in a simpler way, so that listener can understand better.
Yes. I'll tell you, there is a great skill of communication, and the communication is very dangerous also if you communicate the wrong thing, right? Can you name one person who communicated and created a lot of ruckus in this world, like a lot of problems in this world? Can you name one person?
Trump.
Yeah, we had better examples than him.
Adolf Hitler.
Of course, Trump. Who else?
Adolf Hitler.
Hitler. Right? Hitler. Hitler is a great communicator. With his one speech, he could influence so many people.
Yeah.
With his one
Right?
speech, he could influence so many people.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing my own voice. Somebody has to mute there.
Yeah, I think I'm hearing my own voice. Somebody has to mute this.
Yeah, just go everybody on mute unless you're speaking. Okay. Yeah. So who are muted right now, you're responsible for my echo. So be careful on that. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell is, see, communication is such a thing. You know, there is a Sanskrit verse which says Manaso Vegam, Vacho Vegam, Vacho Vegam, Manaso Vegam, Krodha Vegam, Jivha Vegam, Upadarastha Vegam. So basically, you should have a control on your tongue. If you don't have control on your tongue, you can ruin your life in all ways, right? At the same time, you should know how to use the tongue also. Because I'll tell you, the tongue muscle, tongue muscle as per Ayurveda, it is the same muscle that goes to your belly and the same muscle that goes to your genital, sexual reproductive organ, the same muscle. So the person who can't control his tongue cannot control his belly and cannot control his genitals also. So it is explained that one should learn to control his tongue. Tongue control is not only for eating, even for speaking, right? And speaking what? And how are we speaking? Communication skills, very, very important. How many of you feel good English or good language is the primary skill for communication? Actually speaking, language has got nothing to do, especially English, especially, is a third-class language, which cannot communicate a lot of things, right? It has very fixed number of words. And I'm personally not a great watcher of English. Your mother tongue is the best language for you to speak. And you can communicate directly heart to heart, because language comes out of your heart, right? When you speak, it just formulates in your heart and it comes out. So when you're speaking your mother tongue, automatically you speak heart to heart. When you're speaking in a language that is not your mother tongue, it is always mind to mind. It is not heart to heart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So communication, the most effective communication is that which comes from heart. But anyway, unfortunately, we are conquered by, we were ruled by British, and we are forced to learn English. And now we are working in jobs in which we need English. So let us also make sure that our English speaking skills come from heart, which means you have to make your heart's language into English. You have to start thinking in English. You're speaking in English. See, unless you think in English, you can't speak in English. You know what I'm saying? You have to think in English. We think in Telugu, speak in English. That is where the gap is, right? The speaking language should be the same thinking language. It over a period of time, you can make that, and it's helpful. Even at work and every places, it's very easy to think and speak the same language. So communication skills is a very responsible thing. It's like, I'm going to tell you about communication skills, how to improve. At the same time, also want to tell how responsible we should be in utilizing that skill. Because with the same communication skills, Hitler could do so much damage, right? So let's go and see what is the meaning of communication, general meaning of communication. The word term communication, in English, it comes from a Latin word communis. And communis means to communicate, means to make it common or to make known, right? To make it, everybody should be able to know it. That means communication. What does it mean? Everybody should be able to know it. Then it is communication. See, how many of you have heard of the gentleman called Shashi Tharoor? Have you heard of a gentleman called Shashi Tharoor?
Yes.
All the complicated words.
So,
Yes.
how many of you feel he knows very good English?
No, he's
Vocabs are very good actually.
And how many of you feel that he's a good communicator? If you ask me, even if Shashi Tharoor comes to join Lorhan for 3 lakh per annum, I'll not recruit him, because he's a horrible communicator, right? Because only he understands what he speaks. It's not the English that you use. It's not the vocabulary that you use. How much are the people around you comfortable to speak to you? That is communication. Communication means to make it known. What you're speaking, everybody should know, right? What you're speaking, if it is so nice with English jargons, it is of no use. For example, if I start using some words, some phrases which none of you will understand, you all will go to sleep. It's nice afternoon time, isn't it? My communication should be such that it should be simple, it should be clear, and it should be confident. Isn't it? These are the most important rather than vocabulary in English. Of course, good vocabulary is also needed, but more than that, it is the heart-to-heart communication that should happen. That it should be very clear to the opposite person. How greatest communicator is a person, greatest communicator is a person who will make sure that the opposite person has understood. That is communication, right? Not that you have conveyed the message. A lot of times people say, I have told my part, but you didn't understand. So whose problem is it? It is your problem or his problem? Often we say it's his problem. No, it's not his problem. It's your problem. That you communicated, an opposite person didn't understand. తెలుగులో అర్థమైంది కదా బేసిక్ గా మనం మాట్లాడింది ఎదుటి వ్యక్తికి అర్థం కావాలి ఎదుటి వ్యక్తికి అర్థం కాని భాష అర్థం లేని భాష సో ఎదుటి వ్యక్తికి అర్థమయ్యే బాధ్యత కూడా మనదే then my communication skills are right I should be able to communicate. So first of all, our understanding of communication is going completely reverse because of the way we are educated. Communication means it should be perfect. It should be like opposite person gets it. How many of you feel that your mothers at your home, your mother is the best communicator?
Yes, sir. I feel.
I don't
You
think
feel.
anybody will even
Yes,
deny
sir.
that.
Best without even speaking, with a simple
Yes.
glimpse, she'll communicate everything. Isn't it? Why? Because the communication is happening from heart to heart. It's coming out of heart. It's not mind to mind communication. It's heart to heart communication. Even without speaking, right? Little like there was a great priest called Saint Francis, right? And he used to preach all the time. He used to preach all the time. But sometimes he used to speak. What does it mean? Right? Somebody is preaching all the time, the message of Bible is preaching all the time, but sometimes he used to speak. What does it mean? What does it mean? If I say you are talking all the time, but sometimes you speak, what does it mean?
You are communicating, you are speaking from heart. You are actually telling.
Yeah, your behavior, your example is preaching. Right? The way you are behaving, the way you are portraying yourself, the way you are setting an example is actually preaching. Sometimes you are speaking. Our communication should be like that. That, communication is most effective when we show ourselves as an example of what we want to say. Okay. I hope you're understanding for what we are going through. So communication is to express oneself in such a way that one is readily and clearly understood, right? So 5 steps. Listen to understand. Second, understand before speaking. Third, speak to be understood. This is very important. Speak to be understood, right? So you go and just speak something and the opposite person didn't even hear. What is the point? What is the point in saying it, right? I'll tell a funny example. Okay, just for it's afternoon time, so let's to lighten up. In my college days, right? In my college days, obviously boys and girls they fall in love with each other. There is infatuation and all that happens, right? We all have gone through those days. I don't know if still somebody is going through it, but we all have gone through that phase, right? So there was this boy, who was my friend, and he was in love with this girl, and he told that I'm going to tell her that I love her, right? So I told him, are you sure? She going to slap you or what? He said, no, I'll tell her. So I said, okay, go ahead. When are you going to tell? I said, today I will tell, he told. I said, okay, go ahead and tell. So he, the girl was standing outside the college in the bus stop, and this fellow had a bike. So I told him, I patted on his back. I said, go ahead, tell whatever you want to tell, you tell. We will help you. Don't worry. If anything happens, she'll also understand you're a good guy. Go ahead and tell. So this fellow went in a bike. He went in a bike, right? He went in a bike, and then he came back. He went through her, he went all the way through her, and then he came back for where we all friends were sitting. He said, I asked him, what happened? You told you'll go and tell her. He said, I told her. I said, huh? You told her? What did you tell her? When did you tell her? We saw you taking the bike and coming back immediately. His fellow said, no, I was going on the bike. As soon as she came, I told, I love you. And I immediately went. Right? And I came back. I told my part. Right? Now, I mean, this is a funny example I'm taking. But what does it say? This fellow thinks that he told her that he loves her, but she didn't even hear it. When this fellow is going on a bike, bike sound itself is enough to, for not, for many to not hear around it. Now, he told, he is scared to tell her, so he just told it and he ran, right? And then he came back and is telling his friends, I told it. So anyway, I'm just taking this as an example that people think they have communicated. People think they have communicated, but they have not communicated, right? Most important thing, as I said, is listening. Listening is very, very important. Communication starts with listening. So you are speaking to somebody to help that person, right? You're speaking to somebody to help that person. So you have to listen from that person what help that person needs. Or you're just going to speak whatever you want, right? Then there is no point. You have to listen to that person. And once you listen, then understand before you speak. Did I understand what I heard? Do I know what that person's need is, right? And then I have to understand before I speak. Then after I understand, then whatever I'm going to speak is with a goal that opposite person should understand it, right? Sometimes making a presentation is very nice. Sometimes not having a presentation is very nice, right? Not having a presentation. And sometimes, I'll tell you one of the, what do you call that? One of the problems that we in the corporate world think that if you make a presentation to the customer, it should be in PowerPoint. It should be a very power packed presentation, nice slides and nice slice and dice and, nice charts and nice quotes. And the most impactful presentations are the ones without a presentation. How many of you have seen the presentation made by Steve Jobs about iPhone? Yeah, anybody seen? When he was introducing Mac and then iPhone and different versions, iPhone 9, iPhone, whatever numbers of iPhone that came. Just go and see there is no presentation. He just speaks to people. And then he shows some pictures here and there. Here is a feature, here is a feature. Very less amount in the presentation and lot to speak. Unfortunately, since we are in the online mode, I can't speak to you. I can't see you. I don't know how many of you are really listening to me, right? So it's not effective communication because I don't know whether my message is understood by you or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know whether it's understood by you or not. I'm just seeing triangles there, right? So communication means I have to make sure that you understood. Then it is communication. So today's presentation can be effective or can be ineffective, depending on you understood or not, which I don't know, right? So listening is most important. And then understanding what you've heard is very important. And then speaking to make sure opposite person understands is very important, whether you make a presentation or you just speak to him. The most important thing is body language when you communicate, which you're going to discuss as we go forward, right? So let's go forward. A few more things is seek understanding before proceeding, right? And then finally, this orange circle is very, very important. Repeat. So whatever you have told, ask the opposite person whether that person has understood. And you have to repeat the whole thing. Sometimes, when somebody asks a question, it's a good habit to even repeat that question. If somebody says, hey, do you know what happened to the ticket number which the customer opened? I think it was in red. Did it go live? Now you heard too much things, right? So it's a good, sir, I think you asked me about the ticket number that the customer raised. Has it gone live? Is it not? Is it right? That's a very good question to ask because you are confirming what you have heard. Oftentimes, what we have heard can be different from what the opposite person has told. And obviously, your answer is not going to be according to his expectations. And then the conflict starts. This fellow doesn't understand anything. He can't answer properly. He can't answer properly because he never heard it properly. Repeat it. Whatever you heard, repeat it. Whatever you're going to speak, repeat it. And sometimes you can even ask the opposite person to confirm what they have understood, right? So let's go. Communication is a process of exchanging. What do we exchange? Information, ideas, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And how do we exchange? We exchange through speech, signals, writing, behavior. Through all these things we exchange, right? Yeah. Nature of communication is it's a two-way process. It's not a one-way process. But two-way doesn't mean both of them are speaking. Have you encountered people who speak when you are speaking parallelly? Both of them are speaking. This person is speaking, this person is speaking. Both of them are, who is listening? I don't know. Right? It's very important. One person stops and gives opportunity for other person to complete, and then the opposite person. Have you seen Arnab Goswami's debates? Anybody? Right? Two people are shouting at the same time. What is the point? Who is listening to whom? Right? That should not be the way. Either you mute that person and let this person complete, and this person speaks after him. Right? So communication means it has to be two-way, respectfully two-way. Information sharing and understanding, verbal and non-verbal communication, and circular flow. These are all the natures of communication, which comes a goal-oriented communication. Very important. You should know what you want to achieve from that communication. What is it that you want to achieve? See, we all have limited time. And in that limited time, our time should be allocated for goal-oriented things, not non-goal-oriented things. If we talk about what is Biden doing for, Afghanistan, how is it going to help in our life? In what way it is going to contribute to our life? Actually, a newspaper is the biggest, distraction and a useless thing in our life. Because how many, I'm going to ask all of you a question, just on your screens, if you don't mind, how many of you made important decisions in your life watching the news? Tell me one important decision you made in your life watching the news, except not coming to office telling it is COVID.
Whether you travel in a particular location or not because of movement of some politician or
Right.
traveling to other places.
Okay, what decisions you made in life hearing about Taliban taking over Afghanistan? Come on, tell me. It's a very important topic. What decisions you made? You stopped
Definitely, it is actually affecting the market. Otherwise, it's not much of important, but yeah.
Right.
Or you want to contribute on a humanitarian grounds.
We have limited time. We have limited time. All of us have very, very limited time, right? Our families are already shouting, you don't give time to us. In that time, what is the use of thinking about Taliban? Instead, think about your wife and children or your husband and children. That's more important, right? So we give time at work, we give time with our family, and we give time for self-improvement, right? Spiritually, emotionally, skill per se, corporate per se, and then we give time for friends, right? So we have to know what is the most important thing, because that affects our consciousness. That affects our consciousness, right? Communication is very important. Time is also very, very important. What we are communicating, with whom we are communicating. Of course, a personal thing. Somebody might feel that is the most important, but you should question yourself. How many decisions in my life I have made seeing a news or seeing all these things? Very rare, very, very, very rare decisions. It's more of an entertainment. So what is the role of communication in one's life, right? Effective communication are critical element in our career and personal lives. No doubt about it, right? All of us agree with that. Now, if you see other skills, with whatever percentage you keep it, this is a survey done by, Choice Career Services, in 2017. And you can see communication skills is the most important skill that is expected from us, for growth in our personal and professional lives. If you see, willingness to learn is the second one, right? Communication skills and willingness to learn, you can see here. And there is financial industry, manufacturing industry, healthcare industry, energy and mining. It was done a survey done across all industries, and all industries are saying that we need communication skills the most, right? Global mindset, cultural agility, these are all things okay. But most important thing is communication. So how much effort are we putting to improve our communication is very, very important, right? See, there are so many of us on the call right now. You have to discuss, either if you are thinking that you are the best communicators, then you are in a big illusion, right? You're in a big illusion that I am a great communicator, thinking then you're in a big illusion. You're not nobody is a great communicator. We have to improve, day after day. And again, as I said, communication is not about you speaking. Communication is about you hearing, right? How much are you attentively hearing, and how nicely are you articulating and reconfirming what the opposite person has told, what you have told. So there is a lot to learn. We all must use a variety of communication skills to understand and to be understood, right? To change our behavior, we communicate. To get into an action, we communicate. To persuade, we communicate. To ensure understanding, we communicate. And to get and give information, we communicate. So without communication, you can't survive, right? In essence, communication is a very, very important role in our life. Types of communication. On the base of organizational relationship, right? There is formal and informal communication. Is that right? So, for example, there is somebody reporting to you. So that's a formal organizational relationship, right? And then there is somebody reporting to somebody else. So there is a hierarchy there, a hierarchy here. So there is a delivery organization, there is a support organization. Within the support organization, there is finance, HR, admin, trainings, and so many things, right, that fall into it. And then there is formal organization, which is the technical organization, in which you have the center of excellence, the core delivery team, and the practice team, the pool team. There's so many things, right? So there is a relationship among all of them, and there is a organizational relationship that's called informal and formal communication happens through organization. Second is on the base of flow, meaning a vertical, across horizontal, or horizontal, right? So this is like, only my boss will speak to me, I'll speak to my boss. No, I can speak to somebody else's boss. That's like diagonal. And horizontal, all the managers are speaking to each other, horizontal, right? So there is on the base of flow and on the base of organizational relationship. Third is on the base of expression, which includes your oral, written, and gesture, right? Speaking and listening to each other, that's oral. Writing it down and sending it across, written. So on the base of how you express, these are also types of communication. So basically, types of communication based on organization is formal, informal. Based on the flow is vertical, crosswise, and diagonal, horizontal. And then on the base of expression, it's oral, written, or gesture. What are the types we have? On the base of methods. Methods including one-way, two-way, collaborative, right? What we are doing right now is collaborative technique, whereby both of us can speak. If you're hearing a YouTube video, that's one way, isn't it? Like that. So these are all the types of communication. See how many types are there, and in how many of them we are involved on a day-to-day basis. We should become conscious of that, right? Now, 3 aspects of oral communication. Now we are focusing on oral communication in this topic. As I said, I've told you a bigger tree of communication, importance of communication, then types of communication. Now we are getting specifically into oral communication. In oral communication, there is verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and para-verbal communication, right? Now, what do these 3 things mean? Anybody? Verbal communication, we know, we speak. What is non-verbal communication? Anybody?
So the postures, gestures, and body language.
Correct. Body language, postures, gestures. Yeah.
Eye contact.
Eye contact, very, very important, right?
Eye contact, very, very important, right?
Okay. So whoever unmuted now, he or she is the person who is making me speak 2 times. So be careful. Okay. Yeah. So what is paraverbal communication? We'll get to that. So verbal includes, it refers to the communication in which message is transmitted verbally. Communication is done by word of mouth and a piece of writing, right? In verbal communication, remember the acronym is KISS. Keep it short and simple, right? That's the most important thing in verbal. You should not speak like too much so people forget. Keep it short and simple in your message. Non-verbal communication, it talks about your appearance, it talks about your body language, it talks about the sounds, right? All the things matter. All the things matter in non-verbal communication, how you speak. Now, paraverbal communication includes, paraverbal communication is not the words we speak or write, but rather the tone or pace we use, right? The tone also matters when we communicate. What does it mean? Tone. Let me give an example here. Paraverbal communication is very, very important. Without knowing, we do it and the meanings change, right? See, when you're speaking, there are certain words on which you keep more stress. That changes the meaning of that sentence itself, okay? I think somebody is not
You
muted.
can take the example of PK.
Yeah, I've just muted all. Yeah, you can unmute who wants to speak once again. Yeah. What were you saying?
So you can take the example of PK. Amir Khan told, right? Acha. There is a variation in tone actually. It's a higher tone, so it's acha in anger mode. It's a normal speech, then it's a acha in understanding mode. These are the difference. Yeah.
Correct. Right. So let's take an example here. Tell me, I didn't steal the money, which means I'm saying I very loudly. I didn't steal the money, meaning somebody else stole it. That's what it means, right? Now, same sentence, I will put more stress on steal. I didn't steal the money, which means what? I borrowed it, right? Or I just took it. So you're saying something else comes out of it, right? And I put a stress on money. I didn't steal the money. I didn't steal the money means what? You stole something else, right? So the stress that you put on a single word changes the meaning of what you're trying to tell. The same sentence, it can mean different. Did you all follow what I'm saying? The word that you stress makes a big difference. Sir, I am not coming tomorrow means what? There is somebody else who has to do the work tomorrow, right? Sir, I'm not coming tomorrow, which means you will come day after. So everything that you speak, what word you're trying to stress in that sentence changes the meaning of that sentence. This is called paraverbal communication, meaning you choose the word, and there is verbal, non-verbal, and there is paraverbal. The stress that you put, that is called as paraverbal communication. Paraverbal communications are influenced by our moods. If my mood is good, I'm going to speak in a certain way. If your mood is bad, you're going to speak in a different way, and you're going to put stress on certain things, right? So these are all general aspects, my dear friends. But I'm trying to tell you that whenever you speak, remember that you are speaking verbal communication, non-verbal communication, and also paraverbal communication. We'll go through these three things, little by little. Now, essentials of effective oral communication, very, very essential things that we need to know is influence of each factor on communication, right? Do background noises affect us when we are communicating? Yes, it does
Yes.
affect us, right? It's very important. Listeners' attention to you, does it affect us?
No.
Yes, sir.
It definitely affects. For example,
Yes.
I've been telling again and again, please on your videos, because I don't know what it affects me. My presentation will be far more impactful when I see all of you. Swati has sent a mail that all of you are invited to office mandatorily now. I hope that when we start doing the trainings in person, the effectiveness will be more because I can see you, what you're doing, how you're understanding. It's very, very. So opposite person will be more motivated to share when he sees the audience is receptive, right? So listeners' attention to you. Eye contact, very, very important. We are so bad at eye contact, I can tell you. Eye contact. See, when you have eye contact, you're confident, right? When you have eye contact, you're confident. When you don't have eye contact, that means you're completely not confident. A lot of people suffer with this. They are speaking, but they don't look at the person's eyes, right? But when they are speaking, they expect others to look at their eyes, right? Without eye contact, your 50% communication is gone. Eye contact is very, very important. The only organ in our body which shows that we are alive is which organ? Which actually shows life is which organ?
Eyes.
Eyes. Simple. If you put a cooling glass in your eyes, you're as good as a plastic body. There is nothing to express. If I look into somebody's eyes, I can tell easily. You also can tell easily what his emotional situation is, how confident he is, how happy he is, how much he is understood. Everything your eyes will reflect, because that is the more. See, soul can be seen through the eyes. Your life can be seen through the eyes, right? When somebody is dead, what do? They close your eyes. Khatam. You're done. And just imagine you are not looking at people when they are talking to you. How can you expect that you understood whatever they have spoken? It's impossible. Don't even be in that blind belief that opposite person has told, I didn't look at him, but I understood everything. No. You might have only heard what he told, but you have not seen what he means. You have to see him. You have to see into his eyes. Then you will know what it means, right? It's very, very important. Your gratitude and compassion for others. If you don't have gratitude for others, meaning you're not thankful to others, your communication is useless, right? You will not listen. You will not properly listen. For example, how much gratitude and thankfulness you have for your colleagues, for your manager. If you don't have, whatever your manager will tell, do you think you will listen the whole thing? You'll not listen the whole thing. You'll only listen little. You'll say, Chapparadu, I'll do it. No, that person is trying to tell something more than that. But because you don't like him, because you don't have the gratitude towards him for what he's doing for you, your communication is useless, right? So your conviction and passion on the subject very much matters. If you don't have passion on what you want to speak, like I told earlier, you cannot speak anything. It doesn't come out of your heart. It just comes, blah, blah, blah. See, a lot of people who give trainings outside, my dear friends, they only speak subject from their mind. They only speak subject from their mind. They don't speak it from their mouth. Right? Sorry, from their heart. They just speak it from their mouth, from their mind. That is why the trainings are so ineffective. But just imagine when your father is training you, or when your manager is training you, or somebody on the floor is training you, who has already undergone so many problems in life or has handled many, many things. His training is very effective because he is speaking examples from real life. And he's actually your well-wisher. That is the reason he's trying to tell. Right? So we have to find the right person, and we should have gratitude to that person that is going to speak to us. Then the knowledge will surpass. Information, now listeners' expectations, very, very important, right? What is the expectation that the listener have? If the listener's expectation, he doesn't have any expectation, just listening, then whatever you speak, it will not go to him. Information gathered for communication, very important. You should have proper information before you communicate. Like, for example, these presentations I had made some time back, but even now, every time I go to any place and I present, recently I was called to Mahindra University to give a guest lecture. Before that, to one more place. Sometimes I go to colleges. So every time I take this presentation, I again spend some time on it. It's the presentation I only made. So why should I spend time on it again and again? Because I want to make sure there is enough information and I'm presenting enough information properly. Right? It's called preparation for that. So your preparation is very, very important. Information gathered is very, very important. Knowledge on the topic is very, very important. Mechanical equipment supporting. For example, right now we are using Zoom. Right? Zoom is a very good tool to communicate because you can see each other. We can record things. We can even form small groups. When we have group exercises, I can tell 5 people create one group, and we all can reassemble and present group by group. All those things can be done in Zoom. So it's a very good. So tools and techniques are very, very important. If you're speaking oral, your mic is very, very important, right? Your headset that I'm using, am I audible very clearly is very important. All these things also matter. Loud and clear. You should be loud, but more than loud, you should be clear on what you're speaking. Lot of times people, I'll tell you, people, the way they behave sometimes is so irritating, they call people, they don't speak. For example, I dialed a number, I kept it like this, like this. As if I'm not even calling. I don't know if you've seen such kind of people, very irritating people. They'll call and they'll keep the phone like this. Opposite fellow is shouting, hello, hello, hello. Then he will keep the phone. Hello. Have you heard such people anytime? Right? You know what I do? Whenever when a call comes and I say hello and the opposite person doesn't answer, I immediately cut it off. Immediately cut it off. I know that person is alive. I know that person is existing, but for me is dead. Because that person doesn't care to communicate. That's a very wrong attitude, right? And another thing, when you're calling somebody, make sure your background is proper, at least. Don't stand in a sabzi mandi and talk to other person, expecting the other person to hear. Right? Make sure that you get into a place where you can communicate properly, right? Crowd managing abilities. You should have crowd managing abilities. Like when you have a lot of people in front of you, you should be able to engage everybody, right? And vocabulary and language skills. Now, if I see the most important factors for effective communication is what? Your faith in the message and your conviction and passion on the subject. Most important. And the third most important is your gratitude and compassion for others. Can you believe it? See, the problem is we all are focusing on these other things. Am I loud and clear? Is my vocabulary right? Is my English skill right? All these things. No, it's your conviction and passion on the subject is very, very important. Your faith in the message is very, very important. Right? These are the two things which are very, very important. And then you should have gratitude towards everybody to whom you're speaking. I mean, you should respect, you should be respectful. Gratitude means you should be respectful. If you're not respectful, for example, I respect all the people in Lorhan, and that is the reason I'm conducting this session. Just imagine if I don't like Lorhan, if I don't like employees of Lorhan, how effective will my communication be? Yes, my dear friends. If I don't like anybody, any one of you, how effective will my communication be? It'll be horrible.
It won't be. Yeah.
It'll be horrible. I can't even communicate if I don't respect you all, right? So respect is very, very important. There's one more seminar that we'll be doing in due course. It's called Culture of Respect. Don't miss that. Culture of respect. Because a lot of things people think, I know what is that SAP, I know Microsoft, I know this, I know you know. I know you know, you also know you know, but that's useless if you don't know how to respect. If you don't know how to respect people, if you don't know how to respect your customer, if you don't know how to respect people above you, if you don't know how to respect people with you, if you don't know how to respect people below you, then nobody will understand you. Nobody wants to work with you. You're not going to be successful. The topmost people are the people who respect others, right? And gratitude is very, very important. These are the skills. See, I'm showing you this chart because none of us have been told about this chart earlier. That is why I'm showing you this chart. Very, very important. These three things. If you have these three things, my dear friends, you will be great communicators. What are those three things? Your gratitude and compassion for others, meaning how respectful you are towards others. Forget about how much they respect you. Don't expect that. You be respectful to everybody. Next. Your faith in the subject. What you are going to speak. Are you speaking because somebody forced you to speak, or you actually believe in what you want to speak? Even project related information, you actually believe in speaking what you want to speak. People listen to you. Third, your conviction and passion on the subject, your faith in the message and your conviction and passion on the subject. These three things are the important things for you to be a great communicator. Remaining all the things will flow back, right? Yeah. So let's go. So 5 P's for communication. 5 P's, right? A simple acronym I'm giving you. 5 P's include prior preparation prevents poor performance, right? So your communication should be prepared communication. Like prepared meaning you are within your heart, you're convinced. Within your heart, you're convinced that you want to communicate, right? That's the most important thing. Within your heart, yes, I want to communicate and I've prepared for it. And what I want to communicate, everything is already tuned in. You've already thought about it. Next, in order to have good communication skills, of course, as I said, listen to understand before speaking, repeat your understanding, repeat it again. If one takeaway that you want to take away today is next time on, whenever you want to communicate, repeat it again. Whatever opposite person is saying, repeat it. And whatever you told, make sure the opposite person repeats it, that he has understood. If you do these two things, you'll be very successful in every project, everything you do. Speak to understand, ask questions to clarify, right? Don't compare exercises, stop being judgmental, no multitasking, use humor, and add interesting story. These are the most important things for communication. You should also have some humor. Nobody likes to be around serious people. Serious people. How many of you want serious people? Gambhir log, right? Sitting like this. All the time serious. All the time only talking about work. All the time no sense of humor. Do you want to be around such people? If you're married to a person like that, I can't help you. I'm sorry. But at least in the workplace, you don't want to choose such a person, isn't it? So you don't be that person, right? Be jovial, be happy, be approachable. See, when you're like that, people can approach you. If you're like, so gambhir and people not approach you, they'll feel, hey, what kind of person is he, right? So you should be approachable and you should behave in that way. Very, very important. This is part of communication. These all things are part of communication. And the most important thing is you should not assume that opposite person has understood. You know the meaning of assume? What is the meaning of assume? ASSUME. When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. Right? ASSUME. Ass out of you and me. Right? Which means what? You completely are wrong. Don't assume anything. In your life, don't assume anything. Ask that opposite person, did he understand? And I can guarantee you. If somebody is thinking that I have told everybody is understood, nobody has understood, because people are in different mindsets. One fellow is browsing when you're telling one fellow is browsing. I'm sure 2-3 people here also right now are browsing. Yeah, Khani, Swati is there, so I have to be in the call. Let me see whatever time it goes. Let me keep browsing parallelly. So you have so many, things. If I assume that all of you have understood, that means I'm an ass. That I've understood. I'm thinking that you've understood. Right? No, don't make yourself into that situation. Always reconfirm. Always ask, how much did you understand? Did you follow what I'm saying? Did I follow what you're saying? Reconfirm. Right? So assuming is not a good thing to do. Yeah, let's go. So any questions here? I think the very important slide, effective communication. So tell me any questions on this. Are we good? Are we going? Are we understanding? My dear colleagues in triangle boxes, black in color with white color ink. Are we existing? Understanding?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
who are not on video call at least can say yes, no.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, no. People who are on video call, they are anyway saying like by their body language, they are trying to communicate. Yes, they are able to understand.
I'm telling you, I'm going to take a revenge out of all of you when you come back to office. I'm making a note of all your names who are never opening their
Actually, this
screens.
month, what time we are going to get salary?
Huh?
This month, on which date we are going to get salary?
Shiva, can you make a note of people who are not opening their screens? And make sure that
50% deduction.
make sure that the salary is not credited.
Oh, I'm more generous. I'm giving 50%.
No, it's in our hands, right? We being in finance, we can do a lot of things, right? Just make sure that there somebody has kept his name as iPhone. I don't know. People have turned into phones also, no? At least change your name, Baba. You've joined the call. It's an office call. Change your name from iPhone to a person, right? So anyway, please speak out. Get into that habit. I'm telling you, if you are sent to America, if you're sent to Europe, and you join a customer's call like this, I can tell you very simple thing. Customer will tell all those black boxes, take them back to your offshore. I don't need these people. Because they all open their screens. They are not hesitant to show their faces. Are we as black as African Americans? No, right? So what is the problem? My God. I don't know what else. I don't want to be a racist here now. Speaking things.
Absolutely, like to encourage them, we have even gone to that level.
Really, I'm finding it so difficult to tell people, open your screens, Baba. None of us is a Shah Rukh Khan or Amitabh Bachchan or
Vijay
Madhuri
has
Dixit
come
here.
on the video call.
Yeah, I mean,
Devi is still looking blank.
Bye.
Hi, Priyanka.
Yeah. Thank you for communicating by showing, and a lot of people are seeing. That's okay, because we see each other in the offices. How are you going to hide yourself when you come to the office? Burqa pen kya hogi kya?
In the system, they'll hide themselves.
That black burqa, you'll put it on the face, then open it. The black color. You can put the same
Afterwards,
name
we
also.
get lots of nice burqas. We'll give it.
Yeah, you can keep the name also here. So I'm continuing the corona age, right? By putting burqa, black color triangle with a name. Anyways, let's go ahead. So interesting story. Learn to be a good storyteller. The greatest of the communicators on this planet are the people who know how to tell stories, right? In Telugulo మనం కథలు చెప్తున్నావా, we tell like that, right? కథలు చెప్తున్నావా? Yeah, అవును, కథలు చెప్పటమే చాలా important, right? The person who can speak stories is the person who can communicate very nicely. Remember that. Everything that we are going to speak should be like a story. I'm going to tell you one session on presentation skills. Don't miss that. Presentation skills, power pack presentation skills. How do you make presentations, that are very impactful? What is the most important thing about presentations? Storyline. How you are going to present. Even your project presentation should have a storyline. And according to the story, you should move. Like a movie that has a storyline, right? A movie without a story, how does it feel? Sitting in that place, you don't know what to do with it, right? I mean, what is that latest movie with highest budget and no story? Saho, right? Tolerate. Saho or Saho, I don't know that movie.
Saho.
Right? I think it also means Saho. Saho means tolerate in
Already in
Hindi.
India.
Saho, right? Sahan karo, maro, right? So what is the problem with that? There is no storyline. There is only slow motion, no storyline, right? Hero is walking, slow motion. Heroine is walking, slow motion. People are sleeping, slow motion. People are dying, slow motion, right? Everything is slow motion without any story, right? So communication means there has to be a storyline in a presentation. Even you are speaking right now should have a storyline. Like if you see my slides from the beginning, we spoke about what is communication. And then we went into types of communication. And then we went into importance of communication. Then we came to essentials for communication, meaning there is a story. If I tell this slide is the first slide, if I show essentials for communication first slide, then you can't relate to it. Why am I speaking this now? What is the relation to this? It has to flow like a story, right? Very, very important. So what are the 5 P's? Prior preparation prevents poor performance. I think, Swati, I think we should put this banner somewhere in the office. 5 P's for existence. Prior preparation.
On everyone's home screen,
Yeah.
desktop home screen, we can actually
prepare yourself before you perform, right? Prior preparation. Everywhere in even communication works the same way. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead. Listening is the key to communication. People don't listen. How many of you agree that we are poor listeners? Huh? Are we poor listeners? Or a very good listener?
I'm a good listener.
Who told that?
I'm Sushita.
Thank you. Very good. It's very important. At least you know that you're a good listener.
need to check with her manager.
Check with the manager. Yeah, right. So listening is very, very important. Listening means what? Listening means don't think too much when you are listening. Just hear the message first. Problem is, while we are hearing only, we are already formulating the answer. That is a problem, right? The person is speaking and already you're formulating an answer. That means you're not listening only. Listening means to just listen. Just plainly listen. Sometimes your child comes and says, Nana, నేను చెప్పింది, he's like shouting, listen to me. In between, నాకు తెలుసురా నువ్వేం చెప్పి, Nana, listen to me. నాకు తెలుసురా నువ్వేంటో, Nana, listen to me. Then you finally, if you really hear, then you will realize that the poor fellow is actually genuine in telling what he's telling. Problem is you don't listen. We already have judgment. నాకు తెలుసురా నువ్వేంటో అని. That is a problem, right? So time spent in communicating. 30% time you're not communicating, 70% times you're communicating. And out of the time you're communicating, 45% is listening, 30% is speaking, and 16% is reading, and 9% is writing, right? So the most important factor is listening. Listening is very, very, among the 70%, 45% is listening only. Remember that. The more you listen, the more you can speak, right? So levels of listening. Now, what is levels of listening? Passive listening. Passive listening means we are aware that someone is speaking, but actually comprehend little what is said. Right now in this call, I can tell 70% is passive listening. Meaning, right? Passive listening. Next what? Responsive listening. Meaning, we give the speaker verbal and non-verbal indicators that we are listening, that we exist. Right? You are giving some kind of indication. When the opposite person is speaking, you are nodding your head like this. You say, okay, fine, I'm listening, or you're giving an expression. It's called responsive listening. Next is selective listening, right? Selective listening means what? Anybody selective listening here? I'll listen only what I want to listen, right? I'll only listen how much I want to listen. No matter what you shout, I will listen only. నాకు నచ్చిందే వింటాను. जो मुझे पसंद है सिर्फ उतना ही सुनूंगा, उससे ज्यादा नहीं सुनूंगा. Right? That's called selective listening. Attentive listening. Attentive listening means we may ask probing questions and seek further information. See, if none of you are asking questions, I don't know whether you're attentively listening or not. One of the indicators of attentive listening is you're asking questions, right? You're asking questions. Active listening. What is active listening? We engage in listening not only to the contents, but also to the emotions. You're also trying to see what the opposite person is speaking, right? What the opposite person is. You're trying to see complete picture. Also his emotions, how much pressure he is in. For example, your manager comes to you and he says, boss, do this work today, right? Finish this today. Now, if you are a, let us take this example and let's extend it to all these types of listening. So your manager has told, do this work today. What is passive listening? To this example, your manager has told, do this work today. So what is passive listening to this? वो बोलते रहता है, every day he tells, what is the big deal? I'll keep doing what I'm doing. That's called passive listening. Did you all understand? Simple, right? Okay. Responsive listening. Your manager is told, do this work today. What is responsive listening? Okay, sir, I put the. Right? Okay, sir, I'll do it today. Some indication you're giving. Selective listening. Boss, do this work today. Okay, I'm telling this. And just imagine me in the frame. I'm telling you, boss, do this work today. Finish it today. What is selective listening? I only heard do and today. I didn't hear the word work.
Or we can quote like do this work today. Otherwise, if you're not doing, I'll do it. So I'll just go and listen like
I'll
that.
only I'll only listen what I want to listen.
Yeah.
Only what I want to listen, I'll listen. That fellow is shouting, but I'll only listen what I want to listen. Do today. Do today coffee. Do today tea. Work, I'll not listen. Selective listening. What is attentive listening? Boss, do your work today. What is attentive listening? Sir, what is the most important thing, sir? You already given me 3 things to do. Can we prioritize which one to do? Because I think what you're telling is more important. Should I stop what I'm doing right now and do this first? What do you think we should do first? This is called attentive listening, meaning I'm asking questions, I'm making sure that it happens, and I'm also helping my manager prioritize things. Right? Attentive listening. Active listening. Boss, do this work today. Now, if you look at my screen there, I'm saying, boss, do this work today. There is an emotion also I'm carrying on the face, right? I'm not telling, do this work today. I'm saying, boss, do this work today. So you're not only listening to the words, you're also looking at me and saying, sir, is there anything wrong? You look like very tensed up. Is there a big customer escalation? Has the business come to a stoppage because of our system? Sir, what happened, sir? I think you look like pretty stressed out. Can I help you? So you are going beyond the words. That's called active listening. I can tell you, my friends, if you do active listening to your boss, and if your subordinates do active listening to you, we will solve all the problems in no time. How many agree with this? Problem is we don't want to listen. Inadalchukoledu manam. Na ishtam. Nenu itle unta. Right? That is the problem. And why is that happening? Because you are in bad association. In your office, right? There are close to 150. In this 150 in the hall, you want to put how many are passive listeners, responsive listeners, selective listeners, attentive listeners, and active listeners. And if you be around the active listeners, you will be successful in your career. I can guarantee you that. You don't have to fight for your appraisal. Your boss himself will do your best appraisal. Company will recognize you and take you up. If you are around active listeners, whom you associate with is what you are. In your own team, there are 10 people in your team. For example, there are 10 people in a team. I can guarantee you 7 people are passive listeners. If you go with them to tea, you will be a tea seller in life. That's all you will become, ultimately. You will not become a director, vice president, or anything like that. But if you're among those remaining 3 who actually sit there, sir, tell me what's going on. We'll have tea now, but first let me understand what is the problem. Right? Attentive listening, active listening actually makes a lot in our communication. Are you all following what we're discussing here? Yeah? Whom you associate with is what you are. It's as simple as that. So most people do not listen with the intent to understand, they listen with the intent to reply. Stephen Covey, a very, very famous book writer, right? He's saying, what is he saying? Most people do not listen to the with the intent to understand. They don't want to understand, they just want to reply. Right? For example, your manager calls you, okay, so everybody come to the conference room. Immediately, what is your reply? Sir, నేను తొందరగా ఇంటికి పోవాలి, sir. You didn't even hear what he's going to tell. Immediately, he's going to tell something, he's going to put us into trouble. I'll be unnecessarily in a bad situation. And immediately, first, even before you listen, your intent is to reply. Right? And then your manager says, the customer has just now called me. Sir, I'm not responsible for that. Immediate reply. He didn't even tell you what the customer told. Isn't it? And then the manager says, we all have to meet this Sunday for a customer party. This you heard. Everybody heard nice. This is nice. So the problem is, even before you hear, you want to reply. Right? So that is a very bad thing. Right? If you have the intent to reply, then you will never make any progressive things in life. Dalai Lama, you all know Dalai Lama, right? He's saying, when you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Right? I think somebody is not on mute. Yeah, Vijay, I'm putting on mute. Okay. Yeah. So Dalai Lama is also saying listening is very important. So since the last 6 slides, I've been telling again and again, one common thing is listen. Right? Be a good listener. Very, very important. And what types of listeners are there? Passive, responsive, selective, attentive, and active. Which listener do you want to be? Will determine your career. Will determine your career. Hopping jobs, running here and there will not help. Being an attentive listener, active listener will make your career. Always remember that. Okay. Let's go further. Stages in communication, right? And the errors that we make in each stage. Sender, transmission, receiver. These are the 3 parties in communication, right? There are only 3 parties: sender, transmission, and receiver. So errors can happen where? Errors can happen at which level? Communication
levels.
errors. Huh?
In all levels, the sender can also
In
have errors.
all the 3 places. Yeah, that's right. Dev Prasad is saying, in all the 3 places, errors can happen. That's true. You should understand. So sender also can make error. So sender sends ideas. Sender sends ideas. Senders like coding. Also, he codes it into not the software coding, but words that he chooses to put those ideas. Transmission includes the medium, which is through face-to-face or phone or writing, right? And the environment, right? In the office or home or public places, where are you communicating? Which is the place that you're communicating? And receiver is decoding. What is he hearing? What is the vocabulary he understands? And third, idea. Finally, what went into the listener's mind? So the sender is selling an idea, receiver is receiving an idea. But all these things, there can be errors. What can be the errors? For example, as far as sender is concerned, idea is not clearly formulated. Right? Idea is not properly told. This is my idea. He didn't understand. So if your idea, you don't know how to tell, how will the receiver understand? Coding, inaccurate expression. You have not put right expression when you told the, not only face expression, even the words to express, they're not proper. So the right coding of words is not done to send the idea. Transmission modifies the message, right? For example, you do it through phone is different, you do it face to face is different, you do it through writing is different, right? Environment, distracting and distorting noises. It is not going to help the message, right? It is not going to help the message. So transmission is a very important thing also. So whenever you want to speak to somebody, make sure you're going to a place where all of you can be attentive. All of you can be attentive. That's very, very important. It should go to a place like that. Yeah. Next is what? Receiver. Selection of words and distorting thoughts, right? So the receiver's thought process should also be proper, right? You see, you're putting a seed to sprout into a small plant. But if the opposite side is a rock, even if you put the best quality seed, it will not sprout because it's a rock. You need fertile soil for the seed to sprout. Same way, the receiver has to have proper consciousness for receiving the message and understanding the message. And finally, understanding the idea as it is. So these are all the stages in which the communication error can happen, right? Now, what are the barriers? What are the communication barriers? Let's try to understand. What are the barriers from us to communicate properly? Skill barriers, right? Meaning I don't have the skill to communicate. What else? Physical barriers. I'm keeping a wall in between us, right? I'm not properly wanting to communicate, right? What else? Can anybody else tell what other barriers are there in communicating?
Language.
Language, yes. Any more? What are the barriers in you that stop you from communicating effectively?
Sometimes confidence also become a barrier.
Yes, confidence also is a barrier. Overconfidence or lack of confidence, both of them,
Both.
right? Perceptional barriers, right? I think about people in a certain way, my perception. Emotional barriers, cultural barriers. Cultural barriers also, sometimes some people cannot communicate that effectively, right? Because of their cultural background. I'll tell you one example. There was this this lady in my team long time back. She was coming from a very reserved family, meaning highly cultured and very, very reserved. Now she had a problem with her manager. And she was not able to perform properly. So I called the manager, I called that lady, and the manager was complaining that she's not performing properly. And I asked her in front of her manager, Madam, why are you not able to perform properly? Right? I asked her like that. And she's not able to, she's like, she's not speaking. She's not speaking anything. And the manager is like, see, sir, see, this is the problem. She doesn't speak only. And I'm like, come on, if you don't tell me what is the problem, how will I understand? And then I understood that she's not the kind that opens up very easily, right? Then I sent her manager out. And I said, sir, you can go. I'll speak to her separately. So then I made her sit down. And then, asked for a tea. They just had tea for some time. And then I started asking, how is your family? Where do you live? What's going on? What is with the project? What is that? What is this? I spoke to her for some time. And in a matter of time, she started opening up. Then she started speaking that, this person doesn't explain tasks properly. He's over allocating things to some people, under allocating to some people. That is the reason I am not very motivated to speak. Now tell me why she could not speak in front of him. Why she's speaking when he's not there?
Maybe she feel uncomfortable and some cultural barriers, and maybe she is an introvert also. So introverts take time to express themselves. So it will take time to her to open up herself. So the other person or you make her feel ease and let her speak her voice outside.
Yeah. See, don't expect everybody in your team to speak openly in the office. People have cultural barriers. People have, and cultural barrier is not a bad thing. It's a very good thing, right? But sometimes we have to understand and give that benefit of doubt, and then people open up. So cultural barriers also are there. Language barriers, some of you told. Gender barriers, this is also there. Like some people are not very comfortable speaking to the opposite sex. If they see, there are 4 girls in the team, there is one boy in the team, he can't speak. I don't know. There are 4 boys in the team, one girl is there, she can't speak. Now we have to understand that exists. It's not I'll not say it's a wrong thing or a right thing, but it exists. The problem is there. Like I'll tell you a very simple thing. There are too many North Indians in a team, where is one South Indian team. He'll feel very odd man out, even though both are Indians. Right? There are many South Indians in team, there is one North Indian team. Maybe he's not. I'm telling you, these things exist. And there are all even in the office you see, in one corner you'll see a lot of North Indians, in one corner you'll see a lot of South Indians. Even within India itself, you have so many small Indias. I used to work in Wipro. I used to see, on the lunch table, right? When you go to a lunch table in the cafeteria, you'll see all North Indians sitting in one place, all South Indians sitting in one place. Have you seen that? Am I speaking anything, that is wrong?
Yeah, I agree.
So many barriers we only create, and we should understand that that's also a communication barrier. If somebody is not speaking, that means there is something that is affecting him from speaking, right? You should have that. You should not just conclude on people, right? You should understand that there can be barriers, interpersonal barriers. He cannot speak to people easily. Motivational barriers, is not enough motivated. Personal filter barriers, your own mind is stopping you from speaking. maybe they'll misunderstand me, maybe they will think wrong about me, maybe they'll that maybe. Why do you think so many people are not opening the screen here? Because maybe they will not like me the way I'm look like, maybe the background is not good enough, maybe I'll get to know, I'll be exposed, maybe. These are all called personal filter barriers, meaning you're not confident about yourself. That is the problem. You're not confident about yourself, and this is not going to help in long term, my dear friends. Don't think I'm going to gain something by pushing you to on your screens. Don't think that. I'm motivating you that tomorrow when there is a customer call, you will not repeat this mistake. When there is a customer call, if you just shut off your screens and shut off on mute and don't speak anything, I can tell you one thing: you have no right to come and ask promotion in the next appraisal, because you never were expressive, you never have contributed. Your coding and testing is not the only reason why you exist. There are many other skills that are needed to compensate. Like we told, communication is the most important skill, more important than your technical skills. So you should be receptive. Now, taking the receiver more seriously is very, very important. The way to overcome, I'm telling you the barriers and how do you overcome those barriers. You should take the receiver very seriously. Next, crystal clear message. You speak very crystal clearly, delivering messages skillfully. You should know that I should deliver with a storyline. I should try to put everything in one place, try to explain properly. Then you can deliver it properly. It's your responsibility to deliver the message. Focusing on the receiver. Always focus how many people are understanding you. Always focus. It's your responsibility to make sure everybody understands. Everybody understands, right? Then only you can focus. I'll tell you one example, right? Long time back, I was doing this. Wait a second. Oh my God. Yeah. A long time back, I was doing this implementation of what do you call that? Oracle Financials in one company called Gati. How many of you know Gati Cargo and Couriers? You heard of that?
Yes, sir.
So we were implementing Oracle Financials. I'm talking about 2001. In 2001, we were implementing Oracle there. And it so happened that I was doing a CRP. You all know what is CRP, right? Conference room pilot, right? We were before you put the configurations into the live environment, you put it into the test environment, and then you show it to the customer. You know, all the solutions, are they working nicely? All your solution design, you show it in the training. So I was giving that conference room pilot for my modules that I was implementing. And there is this gentleman called Mr. Pawar. Mr. Pawar. He was the finance head of Gati. Finance head of Gati. Like I'm the finance head here, there is one finance head there. So there is this finance head's responsibility is to implement that ERP in that Gati, right? So he got his finance team, one payables person, one receivables person, one manufacturer, whatever, distribution person, all these people, he brought his entire team. And he sat there and I was giving one by one solution, explaining, everybody are listening. In between that, there was one person, one North Indian fellow, whom nobody liked in his own Pawar's team. He's part of the Pawar's team. He's very close to Mr. Pawar, but nobody likes because that fellow is not very intellectually good. You know, he doesn't understand anything. So whenever I was giving the session, you know, Mr. Pawar would look at him and say, "Samjhe kya?" Let's say his name is Qureshi. Yes, for now, I forgot his name. So Qureshi, samjhe kya? Then everybody look at him. Ah, samajh gaya, sir. Okay. ठीक है, Lakshman, आगे जाओ. You can go next topic, next solution. So we took a tea break at that time in between the CRP, and his own employees, Pawar's own employees, on a lighter note, they said, "Pawar ji, आप बार-बार Qureshi को क्यों पूछते हैं? You know, did you understand? Did you understand? You know that he is not very skillful. I mean, Qureshi also went out for a break, so they took the chance to ask Mr. Pawar about Qureshi. Said, Pawar sahab, you know, lighter note. Pawar sahab, why are you asking Qureshi all the time? That, you know, did he understand? Did he understand? Mr. Pawar told an answer, and everybody just erupted into laughter. But that answer was very, very effective answer. You know what he told? He told, when Lakshman is teaching that CRP and is conducting the solutions, I don't know who is understanding in this hall. But if Qureshi has understood, I can tell that everybody has understood. Did you understand what he did?
He's like that.
Is the least factor. So if he has understood, I can automatically assume that you all have understood. That is why Qureshi is the most important in the office. Can you imagine? What is Qureshi thinking? Qureshi is thinking, Arey, Pawar Sahab really likes me. He likes you for what? Right? He likes you for the other reason. And then I also understood when I was giving the CRP that I should focus on Qureshi now, not Pawar. Because till now I was focusing on Pawar. Because if this fellow understands, they will sign the CRP and my finance can raise a bill. I'll get my payment. Right? So you should understand communication means what? Communication means your communication should be understood even by the least understanding person in that place. For example, in this whole crowd of 45, 50 of you, I don't know who is Qureshi here, but I really want to know. Because if he has understood what I'm speaking, then I can guarantee that all the remaining black boxes have understood. Otherwise, I don't know who has understood. Are you all following me? So when you go to a customer place, identify your Qureshi. Don't look for Pawars. Look for your Qureshi. The Mr. Qureshi, who is very difficult to understand. So skillfully delivering your message is very, very important, right? Skillfully delivering. Focusing on the receiver. Who is that? Using multiple channels to communicate instead of relying on one channel, right? Don't just say that I made a presentation, so it's over. Sometimes you also have to go outside and speak. Don't assume that your presentation is understood by everybody, right? Next, ensuring appropriate feedback. Very important. Taking feedback. Sir, did you understand what I spoke? Are you fine with what I spoke? Is it completing whatever you wanted to listen? This is what you should ask, right? Finally, be aware of your own state of mind, emotions, and attitude. You should know what kind of mental state am I in. Am I in stress today? If I'm in too much stress today, I will immediately cancel the training because I cannot do justice, isn't it? I should be in good emotional state for me to give a proper training. Proper work is also in the same way. You should be in a good state of mind to do that. The do's of body language and the don'ts of body language, right? Let's talk about body language. How many here understand that body language is very, very important? Okay, how much percentage of communication depends on your body language?
60%.
Who told that?
Muhammad Yusuf, sir.
I can't see your body only. How can I tell? That is the situation today. We know that our body language is very, very important. No, just kidding, just kidding. Try to understand, folks. This is what is our situation. We know that body language is very, very important, and we are not showing up our bodies on the screens. You tell me how effective this communication is, right? If I don't see what is your body language, if I go on screen off, let me do it for a few minutes. Let me also off my screen. Can we continue the training like this? Huh? Are you understanding what I'm speaking? Is it very effective?
No.
You are seeing my picture there, right?
No.
Huh? Can you imagine? I'm 60 times feeling the same way. You are feeling one time, I'm feeling 60 times. Right? Because without face on the screen, it is very ineffective, very difficult for anyone to communicate. Right? So we should make sure body language is very, very important. Right? How you are standing, how you are behaving, body language in itself. In fact, I will say body language in itself is a very big topic that I want all of you to focus in your life. If your body language is positive, a lot of things you can do positively, right? Yeah. So do's of body language. What is it? Take things more calmly. Your face should look very calm. Your posture should look very calm always. Don't look like you're just going to run right now. Right? You're just going to you're going to run away right after this. You're desperate. Don't look like that. You should be very, very calm in the way you look. Right? Next. Right facial expression. Always keep a smile. Smile. There is nothing to beat a smile. Right? A small little smile. Keeping a inviting gesture in your expression. Right? Very important. Nod in agreement. How many people nod like this? Like this? How many people nod? A lot of people don't nod. They just stay like this. What do you mean? Nod. At least your body should nod. When you nod, that means the opposite person is understanding. Confident look. Always look confident. And if you have a question, ask the question. Right? Ask the question. Next, shaking hands. Very important. Of course, you want to say namaste also is very good. But do something. Say namaste or shake hand. Don't stand like you don't have hands only. If you don't use your hands to do namaste or shake, next life you'll not have hands only because you never used your hands. It's too much to say, right? But what to do? How else can I tell that use your limbs of your body, right? When you meet somebody, either shake a hand or do namaste, whichever, or do this, what do you call that? The punch thing, right? Little punch thing, the Karuna punch. Do that because people should feel that you're alive, right? That's very, very important. Next, body posture. How you're sitting. Don't relax like this and sit in the office or or really sit on the face, so close. That is also not right. Body posture is very, very important. Show interest. Maintain eye contact. Eye contact. Very, 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 very important. Eye contact. Good attitude. These all things, formulate your body language. All the things, right? Don'ts in body language. Now, there are some don'ts you'll be surprised with. For example, avoid touching your face. Have you seen your friends, anybody touching his face when he's communicating? Like this. You call that Manoj Kumar style, right? The old actor, the Manoj Kumar. That fellow never showed his face only. He's always like this. In the movie also like this only. He tells his dialogues like this. I don't know why. You can cast anybody else and keep a hand. Is Manoj Kumar. Right? So that is the situation. A lot of people have this face touching, they keep rubbing their nose. As if they pull their nose, it will become long. Or, touching like this. Or scratching their head. Touching the face. All these things, they're not part of good communication. Not a good body language. You should keep your hands. When you're sitting in the meeting, hand should be like this. Your, face should be very, very clear. Right? A lot of people have this, but don't think that seniors don't have this problem. Don't think that seniors don't have this problem. Everybody has a problem. Even I have a problem. Do you know what your problem is, all of you? Do you know your problems? I'll tell you one problem. Satya sir, you see in the office, he'll do like this. Have you seen that? How many have seen that? He also knows, he tells, I should somehow avoid that. He tells that. Suddenly he'll do like this. He'll do. So we all have a problem. I also have many, many problems. So you should understand how to keep your body language very, very straight and calm, and opposite person feels comfortable in listening. Right? Next, folding your hands like this. Now, what is wrong in folding the hands? Actually, in a lot of other cultures apart from Indians, folding hands means you become very reserved. You're not willing to listen. Actually in Indian culture, folding hands means I want to listen. But in all other countries, you'll be surprised. If you fold your hands, that means they'll be, oh, this fellow is very stubborn, he's very close-minded, he doesn't want to listen. Like that they'll think. So you should know, according to the culture. There is another session called Eastern Words and Western Meanings. Don't miss that. It's a very interesting session where we'll discover these things about different cultures. Standing too close, that is also a problem. Have you seen some people, literally they come like, you are breathing into my nose when they come and talk to you. Literally, this will come. That is all. Give that space. When you're speaking, give that space. Very important part of body language, right? And staring at people when they are speaking. That is also another. I don't know. Many less number of people do this, but there are some people who are like literally staring like this. No, don't do that. Keep a very calm look, right? Restlessness. I want to go now. Tondar cheppeyandi, I want to go. Restless. That is also not good body language. And finally, angry and emotional. For everything, they're very expressive, very over-expressive actually. That is also very dangerous. You should hide your emotions. You should. There is one great cricketer, Sachin Tendulkar, right? How many of us know? We all know about him, right? One of the greatest things that Sachin Tendulkar had is he knew how to stop his expressions. He would never express his anger also. Even if, that McGrath would ball the ball on his body 2-3 times, he's hurt. But he will simply stand like this and keep looking around. He will not show his expressions. The opposite party will shout at him, will try to provoke him. There is a word in English actually for, what do you call that? in cricket when you try to provoke the opposite person?
Sledging.
Sledging. Yeah, sledging. When you people sledge, still you don't express. Completely calm and reserved. But there are some people who express a lot, and what is the next effect? They'll out. They'll just out themselves because they have become too responsive. The next ball they'll try to go for a hit and they will lose their wicket, right? So we have to learn that to maintain that calmness. So these are don'ts of body language, right? So we learned today about oral communication, in that we learned about the effective ways of oral communicating and also body language communicating. 3 subcategories of body language, right? Proximities, haptics, and finally oculsics. Now, what does it mean? Proximity, the distance; haptics, the touch, right? Sometimes you touch the people. That's very, very important. It's okay to touch. We are not living in a country where touching people will sue us. Luckily, we are not living in that country, right? So if you're in the office, and especially, of course, you're close to that person. It's not like you go and touch everybody in the office, right? so you're close to that person. Don't mind, even in our home. Let's take, this communication skills class is not only for the office, even for our personal lives. We should touch people when they're speaking. It gives a reassurance, and your expressions, eye movements, right? Eye movements, oculesics, right? The way you show your eyes, the way you pass the message to the eyes. These are very, very important, essential body language in oral communication, right? Now, effects of communication, effective communication, we all know, right? If you are a perfect communicator, my dear, we are almost ending the presentation. So if you are a perfect communication, listener is benefited, speaker is benefited, disconnects are removed, right? Easy to win confidence in people if you're a good communicator. Work progress is faster, right? Your clarity on goal and process is very, very clear because you've been communicating very nicely. No hesitations to speak to anyone. No hesitations to speak. See, when you're an ineffective communicator, you hide yourself. When you're a good communicator, you never hide yourself. You're open for it. You know what? I'll speak. I'll figure this out. Relationships are built at the workplace when you effectively communicate. Perfect documentation also happens because when you communicate properly, you document accordingly. Garbage in, garbage out. Transparent reporting happens because you communicate properly. And perfect decisions, of course, with full information because you communicated properly. And time and money is saved, right? When you communicate properly, ultimately, your company's productivity increases. And of course, no dispute, grievances, and complaints, right? All these things happen when we have effective communication. When we don't have, it's a problem. One good communication, conversation can change everything, right? When you're having problems with anybody, my dear friends, just go and talk to them. But don't go and talk to them in the hallway. Take them to a nice place. See, in our office, in a new office, I don't know how many of you have seen the new office. There is a place outside the office, like a small cafeteria. Or there is a small bay where you have seats to sit. Or you don't even want to do that. You can go to the 11th floor. There is a big cafeteria. You want to discuss something which is difficult to discuss in the office room, even with your own manager or your colleague, just go up there. Just free up yourself and speak, nicely. One good conversation can change everything. People who want to resign or people who are unhappy can have one good conversation and solve everything. One good conversation. You have to put an effort to do that because you're at loss if you don't do it. So I'm just summarizing everything once again. We discussed about the communication tree, and we discussed about what we are discussing, oral communication. In that we discussed about how important it is, right? Power of communication. We discussed benefits of it, and success of communication starts with first accepting, not rejecting, meaning be a good listener. And we talked about the influence of each factor. What is the most important factor in your communication? Not your language, not crowd handling skills, not knowledge on the topic also. It's a passion for the subject. How much passionate you are for the subject, that really makes a big difference in your communication. And your faith in the message also. Faith in the message. Passion and faith both go together. And time spent, most important time that you spend is on the listening. Listening is the most important thing that you spend, right? I like this last word. It says single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. Right? The biggest problem in communication is that you think that the opposite person has already understood. Actually, they have not understood. You know, you think that they have understood, but you have to spend that extra time to understand. Okay, now I'll open the floor to everybody. Yeah, I think we are just about time. So, any questions, or what are the takeaways from this presentation for all of you? Did you benefit, or what do you think you'll implement? Anything, reflections? Any takeaways? Come on, guys, speak up.
Uh, Hi, sir. When even a layman, like who doesn't belongs to the place, also can understand what we are communicating, like what
Mhm.
we are trying to say, things, basic things, then we can make sure that our communication reaches to people in that floor. Like
Correct.
when even a layman can understand our
Correct.
things.
Very good point, right? So you should not try to see the most intelligent person to communicate. You should see for the most simple person to communicate, because he is understood, then everybody is understood. Yeah, that's a very good point. So you'll never forget the example of Pawar and Qureshi. Huh? Yeah. Any other takeaways? Communication should be like storytelling. I told you. You should be a good storyteller to communicate properly. Hmm? We can't listen to you, Swati.
Swati, your voice is too low.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are
Yes,
now.
yes.
You are now.
I hope like 40 participants out of 40, like we can see 4 members here. Remaining 36 are not actually sleeping. Thanks, Swami.
Boy, oh
You said
boy, oh
that
boy.
Asai works for that. So remaining people, guys, you're there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can't hear. Like I can hear
Yes,
only two
today's
voices. Yeah, please.
today's session is the most powerful session which every individual need to be listen these kind of things, because right from the manager level to the top management to the lower level, people feel that higher level management is they are saying the right things, they are giving a perfect feedback, but at the same time what Lakshman sir has given a point that uh, lower level being a consultant or as analyst level, people also can communicate in a proper manner, so that only the thing is opportunity is not getting to speak to the seniors or elders. They are in a frustrated way that they are correct. Just I feel that Mr. Many things I have need to be clarified, but no one is ready to take these clarifications. These kind of things I have faced many times, though, because we are not skill up to the level, because we are having less experience when compared to the people who are having leads more than 14 experience to 10 to 15 years of experience, but they are very well to need to solve the solutions in such a manner that we need immediate solution, but there is no point of listening at all, what I feel. But I'm very thankful that Swati ma'am has recognized that point, and immediately he has pinged me on my teams. Morning I have, she has pinged something, she's been busy, but she immediately after listening Lashman sir a point, she immediately pinged. That's I very appreciated. In such a manner she immediately rectified that if such kind of people in the organization means the organization no one will be affected. These kind of things will lead to some in a different level, the organization also will grow and the employee will also grow and the management also will be in a such a manner they are happy environment in around us. This is a wonderful session. I very thankful from bottom of my heart that those who conducted this kind of stuff in this session, but it's a really hands off to Lakshman sir, and thankful to Swati ma'am that she respect that kind of a small thing. And I have observed in her facial expression that you are given example that a child is ready to tell a parent, but parent is not able to listen. but I observe the few things in her face that she's a mother. I hope so. She can recognize many times these kind of things. Yeah, thank you so much.
For feedback to me and Lakshman and to management.
Thank you, Mohammed. You have communicated excellently. Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
guys, I'm telling you one thing. Okay, I'm telling you one thing. We'll end with this. See, whether you join a big company as IBM, which has 2 lakh employees in India, or you join an Ocean like TCS, which has 5 lakhs employee around the world, or whether you join Lorhan, which is, I don't know the number, maybe 170, I don't know at this point. It is the same. Tell me how it is same? Because your capacity to communicate is only with maximum 5 or 10 people. Because your team around you, the core team that you work with, is only 5 or 10 people, whichever company you join. The batch might be changing, but even if you go to Microsoft or you go to any other company, any place, you are only working with the 5 or 10 people. And the success of that team determines your growth in your career, in whichever company you stay, right? And you should improve your communication skills so that you will help your team to succeed, whichever company you stay. So actually people think that, I want to be in this kind of company, that kind of company, small company, big company. No, look at your team. Right now, if you have a good manager, good colleagues, understanding team, and a very good environment in whatever small environment that you're working, it's as good as you're working in any company. It doesn't matter. Because ultimately that is what matters, right? And how much opportunity are you getting to communicate, right? Actually, I would rather be in a company where I can know who is who, right? And I can nicely communicate with everybody and learn from everybody. Just imagine a company which has 1 lakh employees, right? I'm not saying it's bad that company, but I'm just saying in the big ocean, you are like a insignificant fish, small fish who's running around. But in a pond, even one fish is big enough to be heard, right? So it is very important that we take advantage of the size of the company and we grow with the company. Actually, joining a company of this size will help you grow very nicely, provided leaders see your communication skills. You know what is going to happen? I'm just telling you. Whenever I have a discussion with Pawan or Satya or Kalyan, our directors, and they talk about new projects, new programs, I know who in this, in this trainings, what do you think they expect from me? I have to go and tell them who are the most attentive, dynamic, good communicating people. I will tell them that, this person is very good in his communication. Give him an opportunity. I don't care whether you know SAP, Oracle, this program, that program. But if you're not expressive, if you're not good in your soft skills and other interpersonal skills, then you're not going to grow in any company. And top management sees that only. Whenever, for example, in the office when you come, whenever Pawan comes out of his cabin, do you think he wants to see solutions and presentations? He wants to see people who talk, people who want to express, people who want to come forward, say, "Hey, hi sir, good evening, how are you doing? All well, sir, this is what we are doing in our project. It's going nice. This is a challenge." When he sees that nature, immediately leaders will identify them for higher positions because they're very good communicators, right? So this is what matters. With this, I'll end. It's already 1 hour 50 minutes. So thank you for your good audience. I really appreciate your time. And, I'm sure there is customer calls. I'm sure it's part of a delivery day, Friday. But Friday is a Friday, right? It comes before Saturday and Sunday. So have a good weekend ahead. And I look forward to see you in future sessions. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's a wonderful session. So we hope to see more people next time in next session, maybe some takeaway from this session. So hope to see more faces and more people interacting, though we are telling the same thing every session, but we'll keep saying that till we achieve more people coming out and talking and opening up with us. So thank you. So happy weekend, guys. So you can reach out with your suggestions if there is any. So we'll definitely try to inculcate that in our sessions. Thank you. Stay
Okay.
safe.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Looking forward to see you all in the office very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.